Hey everyone, now for something a bit different from the top 20s that everybody else does. This is something I wrote quite some years ago just as a bit of fun. I was a bit bored at the time and thought, well, there's so much good metal out there, how much bad shit is there? So I went through a lot of big name bands and everything and looked for anything which could be construed as a bad song or a shit song or a boring song or something like that, and this is what I come up with. It's got a bit of an intro to it to introduce what I was actually doing, but then it rips into it, and looking back on it now, there's a few songs I don't agree with now, but I think most of it holds up pretty well. But anyway, this is called The Worst Metal Songs of All Time. Metal fans often face jibes from non-believers about their musical preferences. You know, the general sort of criticism. You can't hear the words. It's all just about Satan and killing people. It's all just noise. Metalers are seen as less than discerning in their listening choices, just blindly headbanging to any old crap emanating from the stereo speakers. We know better than that. Metal fans are some of the pickiest bastards in the world. If a band dares try to change their sound a little, explores something ever so slightly outside the square, plays too fast or too slow, or cuts their hair, the chorus of criticism is deafening. All the fan-fueled analysis of metal means it should be fairly easy to get it right. Basically, don't do what the fans don't like and you'll be right. However, despite metal being well into its fourth decade of existence, bands still fuck it up. So that shows you how long ago this was written. You'll know the feeling. You're playing a great album and all's going well. The music has just hit the groove, whether it be an intricately constructed haunting black metal atmosphere, the controlled aggression of a bludgeoning brutal death metal blast, or the beer-swilling swagger of a traditional metal tune, when all of a sudden there's a metaphorical fingernails down the blackboard. Yep, a dud track, song so awful and out of place you have to reach for the skip button on your CD player. How could this have happened? Why? The band should have known better. These occurrences are far more common than they should be. To that end, I've rated out 50 of the worst offenders in no particular order. It's far from being a definitive list, the compilation of such a list being far beyond the scope of a single person, but I do actually have all the songs listed. This list may pique your curiosity, but be warned, I'm not responsible for any mental scarring, damage to your audio equipment, or public ridicule you may suffer if you deliberately hunt down these songs and actually listen to them. So, with that warning, pull out your most comforting album, crank it up loud, and prepare to be shocked, horrified and sickened by the 50 worst metal songs of all time. Conditions for selection. These songs have to be metal. It'll be easy to target new metal and metalcore, because let's face it, half those bands couldn't write a dirty limerick, let alone a song. Signed bands. There's plenty of shit out there in demo land, and that's why those bands aren't signed. These are songs some idiot paid to get on record and didn't know any better. No obvious targets. Metal fans aren't particularly keen on Metallica's St. Anger album, and slagging it off would like be shooting fish in a barrel with a bazooka. One song per band. As with the Metallica condition above, some metal albums have ended up so universally awful it would be just too easy. And last of all, it's all my opinion. This isn't the 10 Commandments of metal. Right, here we go. Number 1, Bible Basher, Diocide. Okay, so Diocide's version of high-speed death metal is generally quite consistent, never wavering far from the blueprint developed on the first 2 Incendiary albums. Bible Basher is a vicious satanic diatribe aimed at Christians who push their religious message. However, shouting Bible Basher, Bible Basher, Bible Basher, Bible Basher, Bible Basher, Bible Basher, who is your God, does not constitute a sing-along chorus, nor does it make a particularly scary song. In fact, try not laughing if you ever have the misfortune to hear it. Number 2, 31 Flavors by Sacred Reich. Sacred Reich's politically loaded thrash was generally quite intelligent and well thought out. 31 Flavors wasn't. Aimed at demonstrating the band's musical taste beyond metal, it's a funk abortion minus any metal whatsoever. It compares music to ice cream, but frankly leaves a bad taste in the mouth. Rather a limp ending to an otherwise solid album. Number 3. Road Mutants by Death Angel. What better way to follow up Third Floor than to recycle the same riff again, accompanied with some dumbass lyrics about touring, and add a crap vocal melody. Impressed? Well, you shouldn't be. Number 4. Night Jump's Queen, Annihilator. Annihilator basically shot their load with the first 2 albums, and by the time Tricky album number 3 rolled around, the ideas cupboard was bare. So why not write a song about shagging, but make it a bit more mature by comparing it to a game of chess? And let's not bother writing a decent riff for the song either. Number 5. Violence and Bloodshed, Man of War. Man of War is not the sanest band you'll ever meet, but this is pushing it even for them. Sure, they've done cheesier, but comparing the fight for metal to the Vietnam War is pretty tasteless. I'm sure Joey DeMaio would have more luck finding metal mercenaries to go back to Southeast Asian jungles with them by putting an ad in Soldier of Fortune magazine rather than Kerrang. Number 6. Necropedophile by Cannibal Corpse. Standard Chris Barnes era Cannibal Corpse crap, with little to distinguish it from any other song of the era. There's a certain sick humour to be found in songs like Entrails Ripped from a Virgin's Cunt or Fucked with a Knife. This song tries too hard to be offensive. It's offensive to the ears. Number 7. Metal Rap by The Lone Ranger. The Lone Ranger was actually the legend in his own lunchtime, John Zazula, Megaforce Records founder. Recorded in August 1984, this is the first ever rap metal crossover, and like pretty much everything else which combined the two genres, it's crap. How crap is it? Well, Johnny Z can't sing to save himself, and his rapping's even worse. The rods provided the musical loop, but are probably too damn embarrassed to ever admit it. Still not convinced it's crap? Try some of the clever rhymes. Yesterday's giants grew bigger than ever, sold millions of records as producers got clever. Or Anthrax, Great White, Dokken and Slayer, everyone heavier, each musician a player. And worst of all, Metallica, spectacular. Number 8. Heavy Metal Hamsters, Halloween. This is from Halloween's surrealist Pink Bubbles Go album, but there's a line between surreal and fucking stupid. Any song which starts with the lyrics, "There's some fellow, soft and mellow," is instantly in trouble. It's as fluffy and nauseating as the rodents it describes. Number 9. Anti-Cop, Sepultura. Antichrist was a fairly good song from Sepultura's early days. Sure, the lyrics were a bit cheesy, but it had that attitude. Max Cavalera thought it would be a good idea to change its name to Anti-Cop and write some anti-police lyrics. What a dickhead. Number 10. Rundgang om die transcendental soul der singularitat Burzum. I don't know if that's how you say it or not, but it will. A ridiculously long song with a ridiculously long name. Basically, Varg accidentally left his keyboard on autoplay for 25 minutes and recorded it. As you'd expect, the little beeps and things do nothing and go nowhere, and don't turn you into a Nazi. While the song isn't really very metal, it's on a metal album. Number 11, Wickedtron, 3 Inches of Blood. The title should be a clue here. It's your stereotypical killer robot scenario song, done completely straight-faced. Cheesier than a sailor's foreskin after visiting a Turkish brothel. You'll find yourself burning red with embarrassment if you hear it, because you can't help singing along with it. Number 12, Driller Killer, Mortician. Mortician have never been lyric heavy, because with a vocalist as guttural as Will Rama, it makes fuck all difference what the lyrics are anyway. Driller Killer takes this minimalism to new extremes, with no line of the song longer than 3 words. More than half of the 2-minute song is taken up with this movie sample intro, which is more interesting than the song. 49 seconds of music means you don't have to write many riffs per song though. Number 13, Buried Alive by Venom. The Buried Alive theme has often been explored by metal bands, but Venom's take on the subject is quite unique in that it sounds like the band was buried and it was recorded 6 feet above their head. And the strange thing is, Kronos seems too lethargic to be bothered by it. It's like, oh well, I'll have a snooze and I'll worry about getting out later. Number 14, Talk to Grandpa by Rage. English isn't Peter Wagner's first language, but the lyrics to the song are just so damn stupid it's inexcusable. Sally can talk to the dead, so he gets her to ask Grandpa where he hid all his money. 15, Forever Free, Wasp. The power ballad to end all power ballads. Blackie Lawless's missus died in a painful and lingering death and told him to be a man for once in his fucking life and stop blubbing about it. So he writes a weepy song instead. And of course he sucks it up, even after she told him not to. The transition between power and ballad are ham-fisted and clumsy, and the lyrics schlocky and lame. In other words, a typical Wasp song. 16. Mad Gone World by Overkill. Occasionally in songwriting, correct prose grammar goes out the window to make words fit, but it's not often a song title ends up with a phrase completely arse about tit. Apart from fucked up grammar, this song offers an out-of-tune guitar solo, choppy and jarring song structures, odd bits and pieces which just don't fit together, and an end which seems to take forever. 17. AIDS by MOD. Anally injected death sentence? That's almost what the song did to MOD's career before it even got going. Billy Milano says he regrets writing the song, but he didn't realise what a scourge AIDS was going to be when he wrote it. Never mind though, he was so remorseful that he included it on MOD's greatest hits album. It's homophobic, not big, not clever, and not worth the effort. I Am God, Unleashed. I am God. I kill people just for pleasure. Now, Johnny Headland wasn't particularly mentally stable at the best of times, so it's hard to know if this is just a fictitious song or if he really had a bit of a god complex. It's pretty much bog standard death metal anyway, showing little of Unleashed's newfound sense of dynamics that the rest of the album demonstrates. 19. Welcome to Dying by Onslaught. Onslaught may have been confused about why their career died, but need not have looked any further than this song. It sucks. It's boring, dreary, and fucking lame. You guys used to know how to thrash, but you seem to forgot how. Number 20, Gripping Obsession, The Great Cat. Catherine Thomas can fucking shred when it comes to the guitar or electric violin, but the daft tart can't write a song to save herself. She seems to fly off into a narcissistic rage while writing songs, so the lyrics make very little sense. The songs have no structure except for wild solos flying all over the place, and she mentions her own name repeatedly. 21. No More Time, Zentrix. Now, power ballads aren't inherently bad, but they can be tricky territory, particularly for thrash bands to whom subtlety doesn't always come easy. Zentrix managed to fuck the ballad genre completely by writing one of the sappiest songs ever, dedicated to our dear planet Earth. That's right, they wrote an environmental power ballad. The lyrics seem to be straight from a Greenpeace pamphlet. The music is gagging, vomit-inducing fromage, dripping with overwrought sentiment. Wrong on so many levels. Number 22. Death from Above by Anthrax. Perhaps youthful exuberance could be an excuse for writing this song, but it hits a number of different cliches dead on. Neil Turbin desperately wants to be Rob Halford, but stretches his voice to breaking point. Dan Lilker wants to be Steve Harris, but gets buried by Scott Ian, and let's be honest, his weakest performance ever. The jet fighter refrain is pretty fucking silly, and Turbin's vocals are hysterical, particularly when he tries to hit those top screaming jet engine notes. Number 23. Mendel Slavery by Creator. This song represents a turning point for Creator. It was like, oh fuck, we've run out of riffs. So they started recycling riffs from the previous couple of albums. Silliest thing about this song is, despite the serious subject matter, Millet seems quite cheerful and perky while singing about mental, happy riffs, slavery. Never mind, pretty much everything else Creator has done could be used to demolish buildings, so one dud song in all these years is excusable. Number 24, Thrash Hard by DRI. These guys are once the fastest band in the world, so you'd expect a song called Thrash Hard would do just that, but it doesn't. It's mostly mid-paced bollocks and about as exciting as talking about quantum physics at a party. party. This one-trick pony of a band even forgot that trick. Number 25, Rubbie Souls by Mortal Sin. Rubbie Souls, also known as Arseholes. Arseholes, get it? It's none too funny at all. While I'm all for juvenile toilet humour, chanting arseholes over and over doesn't cut it. It's the sort of schoolboy humour which AC/DC do so well. Mortal Sin weren't AC/DC. The main riff sounds like it was stolen from a cop show theme song too. Number 26, Deeper Demons by Ripping Corpse. Ripping Corpse were one of the more unusual sounding death metal bands of their time, particularly Scott Ruth's distinctive vocals. However, this song about their favourite porn star Shauna's rise and fall just sounds creepy. Sounds like Ruth wants to eat her, cannibalistically, not sexually. And the seemingly sympathetic lyrics actually revel in her demise. The band also played the song a bit too fast for their own good, not holding it together like they should. Number 27, Into the Eternal Fire by Bathory. This song is actually not too bad overall, until the last couple of passages. It starts cheesily enough with a cliched bell bonging away, but the completely fuzzed out guitar tone makes up for it. The repetitive riff gets a little too repetitive though, and you're left wondering if anything is going to happen. The answer is not much. Basically, Cawthon gets lured closer and closer to Hell's Flame, but it takes him 5 fucking minutes of satanic mumbling to get there, and that's when the fun starts. He falls into Hell's flaming pits, and surprise, surprise, he gets burnt. That's what makes this song so fucking dumb. If you fall into Hell's fires, you're going to get a bit hot, so don't fucking moan about it. Number 28, Fetus Noose, Benediction. Dear Benediction, the day you guys can get pregnant is the day you can preach about the evils of abortion. Until then, keep your half-assed fundamentalist ideas to yourself. 29, Breed to Breathe by Napalm Death. Dear Napalm Death, same applies to you. Number 30, Faster Than You'll Ever Live to Be. This song is a case of false advertising. It's fast, but it's not that fast. The entire Bonded by Blood album is faster. It doesn't even have an Exodus patented shoutable chorus. 31, Weekend Warrior, Iron Maiden. This song pokes fun at middle-aged fat blokes in footy shirts running around at the weekend kicking round balls like teenagers, then spending hours at the pub getting plastered, then buggering off back to their weekday jobs as drain layers or painters and decorators or cab drivers. Way to alienate your core audience, Iron Maiden. Now apparently when I've completely misinterpreted that song, but I don't care, that's what I wrote years ago, and that's the interpretation I got off it, but I've been told otherwise by many a good people, including Chris Chandler from Terrorizer magazine, but well, they can all go and get fucked, I don't care. Number 32, Destroying the Manger, Nocturnus. Generally when bands come up with silly satanic lyrics, it's all for fun, but Mike Browning actually believes the crap he spouts. In this song, he's going to build a time machine, zap back in time to the birth of Christ, and shoot Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Yeah. Number 33, Another Fine Mess by Reanimate Er. The premise of this song is quite promising. Not many thrash bands ever wrote songs about the genius comedic duo Laurel and Hardy. However, the execution went a bit awry. See, the Reanimate Er lads are hopeless fanboys, and the lyrics are sycophantic and ass-kissing. The main riff of the song isn't bad, but the song as a whole is a bit dull. 34, My Open Mind by Acid Rain. Obnoxious was such a piss-poor album, it completely fucked Acid Rain's career. My Open Mind was supposed to be a song explaining why H didn't play by society's rules. It comes across as a whining and complaining and a bit precious. The music is flat and lacks any sort of inspiration. Acid Rain should have stuck to Bad News covers. 35. The Winner Loses, Body Count. There's a reason why Ice-T is a rapper. He can't fucking sing. From the first line of this song, he's out of tune. The airy backing vocals and cheesy solos don't help the song either. While the sentiment is good, it would have been better as a gangster rap song, which might have seen it work. 36. Phallic Tantrum by Celtic Frost. The name says it all really. Tom G. Warrior's penis is throwing a strop. Instead of the insane death-gurgling monster of previous albums, Warrior fancied himself as Paul McCartney, but ends up sounding like Cronus from Venom with a blocked nose. 37. Dawn Patrol by Megadeth. A bleak vision of a pollution-devastated post-apocalyptic planet, or 2 minutes of filler because Dave Jr. had a bass riff with no song to go with it. The little sucky mole sounds were probably Mustaine doing a line of something which he claimed he wasn't doing at the time. 38. Walk by Pantera. Respect. Walk. What do you say? None. C8. Say it again. This song sucks. Walk on home, boy. 39. Infecting the Crypts by Suffocation. This is fast, this is heavy, it has riffs by the truckload. The vocals are guttural and brutal. The jackhammer drumming is incredibly intense. This has all the ingredients for great death metal. Unfortunately, it's a turd. It's like having all the pieces for a kit tank and then trying to make a fighter plane out of it. Number 40, The Subhuman by Carnivore. Okay, this is a demo, but it was re-released on an album. Anyway, it's a 12-minute dirge about a caveman with an icicle for a penis. Pete Steele did well to leave it off the first Carnivore album, but then fucked it up by including it as a bonus track on Retaliation. 41. A Blaze in the Northern Sky by Darkthrone. This sounds like it was recorded from the bottom of a long drop toilet. These fucking idiots make it sound like this on purpose too. It's supposed to be frosty and grim and emotionless, but covers up the fact Darkthrone can't write a decent song. The bass players union must have been picketing the studio too. 42. Jugulator by Judas Priest. The dumbest title for a song ever. Dumber than anal cunts, everything's gay. Dumber than dying fetuses, kill your mother, rape your dog. Dumber even than Lawnmower Death's Cobwoman of Death meets Mr. Smelly Mop. I don't give a song what the song's actually about because the title's so fucking stupid. 43. Question mark, question mark, question mark by Viking Crown. Yes, that's the real name of the song. I wouldn't have even bothered naming it either. It's a formless mess showing zero musical skill, structure, or effort even for black metal. It was supposed to be a bonus track, but it's more like a booby prize. 44. I Spit on Your Grave by Dragon. If your idea of great death metal is indistinct, amateurish riffing, random timekeeping, monotonous flat vocals, and third world production values, then to mix a metaphor, this slice of Polish sausage could well be your cup of tea. 45. Battery by Metallica. Battery? Metallica? Am I insane? Well, not quite. See, the original is a killer track, a thrash metal masterpiece. See, the shit version of Battery appears on S&M. Yep, violins, oboes, French horns and triangles don't mix very well with rapid fire, mega amplified thrash riffs. You've got to feel sorry for the poor bastard soaring away on his double bass trying to keep up with James Hetfield, or the guy going blue in the face puffing on his bassoon. It would be funny if the end result wasn't quite so dire. 46. Cranked Up and Out by Napalm. Now this is Napalm the thrash band, not Napalm Death. Steal a discharge riff, bridge it with shouts of crank, 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 and you've got a song. Well, sort of a song. We better hide it at the end of the album because it's pretty bad and by then no one will notice. 47. Blizzard Beasts by Immortal. If this song was a drum solo, it would be amazing, because Horg, he of the bullet-belted beer gut, utterly destroys his kit. The rest of the band unfortunately can't keep up. And the vocals sound like the penguin from Batman did them, which is probably quite fitting for the name of the song. 48. Silent Night, Bodom Night, Children of Bodom. Brave Sir Robin ran away, he bravely ran away. Where danger reared its ugly head, he bravely turned his tail and fled. Sorry for the Monty Python interlude there, but that's what the first melody of this song reminds me of. This has harps and harpsichords and orchestral sounding keyboards. This is supposed to be a metal song. I reckon the band might fit a few guitars in the next time round. 49. 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence by Dream Theater. The problem with progressive metal is that the interesting bits are few and far between, interspersed with boring atmospheric bits or wussy acoustic parts, or wanky overindulgent instrumental masturbation. In fact, Dream Theater got so distracted by all the protestic possibilities with this song that they recorded a 42-minute song with about 42 seconds of interesting bits. Number 50, Planet Caravan by Black Sabbath. Back in the early 70s, Black Sabbath were bigger than pretty much everyone, and as a result of their success, they could afford the best drugs. Whatever chemical inspired this song was a retardant, because this fucking blows. No bastard was coordinated enough to plug in their instruments, so it's an acoustic hippie lovin'. Perhaps you're supposed to be stoned to understand it, but sober, it's the audio equivalent of the drips of piss left on your dick when you forgot to shake. And there we have it. 50 worst metal songs of all time. Love 'em or hate 'em, get upset if you like. It's just my opinion and it's all done tongue in cheek, so let me know what you think.